Round 3 of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship held at Pau, the temporary motor racing circuit in the streets of the city, in the 75th anniversary of the Grand Prix of Pau. The pole sitter is Lance Stroll, the fastest driver in qualifying for race number 1, which, as you can see, gets underway in wet conditions, and Stroll already saw his hopes of a podium finish fade away right at the very start. Ben Barnicoat using the opportunity and taking the lead. Maximilian Günther, Nick Cassidy, George Russell and Callum Ilott all following suit. On lap 8, Peter Lee spun into the Armco barriers and caused the only safety car intervention of this race. As the safety car pulls in for the restart, then Nick Cassidy straight away mounting an attack on Maximilian Günther and managing to make it work and take over P2 in this race. However, despite everything, the driver from New Zealand was never going to be in a position to challenge Ben Barnicoat as he headed towards victory. And at the flag, Ben Barnicoat with a margin of more than 2 seconds on Nick Cassidy. Maximilian Günther rounding out the top 3, concluding the 7th race in 3rd place. Our pole sitter, Lance Stroll, managing to achieve P9. Ben Barnicoat then celebrates his 2nd FIA Formula 3 victory in a row. To race 2 then, and track conditions worst possible for any racing driver, sees George Russell start from pole position, Callum Ilott alongside, but the track partly wet and partly dry, which would prove to be a challenge, but certainly not for George Russell, who got a brilliant start from Sette Câmara and Lorandi. Nick Cassidy and Ralph Aaron tangled on the first few metres but were able to continue. However, on lap 4, Cassidy had to turn into the pits with a puncture and drop back to the end of the field. At the end of lap 8, Lorandi was the next one to make a pit stop due to a puncture after he had made contact with the Armco barriers. Thus, the Italian lost his 3rd place to Callum Ilott. Lap 13, Pedro Piquet had crashed into the barriers and that caused a safety car deployment. And after the restart, Antoine Hubert, the only Frenchman in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship field, overtook Mikkel Jensen in an audacious move and claimed P7. 2 laps later, Harrison Newey crashed into the barriers, prompting another safety car intervention. After the restart, George Russell again remained in front and safely brought P1 home. Russell, Sette Câmara, Ilott then the 1, 2, 3. George Russell scoring his first FIA Formula 3 European Championship race win of the 2016 season. And to race number 3 then, and sunny, dry conditions by way of a change. Lorandi on pole with Lance Stroll alongside, and then Sette Câmara and Nick Cassidy. At the start then, Lorandi defending the lead, Lance Stroll P2, and as the camera pans you can see this crash now involving Sergio Sette Câmara and Nick Cassidy. Whilst that's going on, George Russell does manage to get P3. Some other cars involved in the crash include David Beckman and also Peter Lee, and it was inevitable that the safety car was going to have to be deployed following this crash. At the restart though, Ryan Tvita under pressure from Joel Eriksson, and Eriksson getting past Tvita to take P6. On lap number 10, Maximilian Günther loses 2 positions, overtaken by Ben Barnicoat and also Pedro Piquet. Alessio Lorandi wins the race, Lance Stroll finishes P2 and George Russell will take P3. So the result in full on screen for you, and Alessio Lorandi gets the trophy then for his first win in the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. No rest for these drivers as they head off to the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg for the next round, and this is the way the championship looks. It's Stroll P1, Maximilian Günther P2 and George Russell P3. So as our 1, 2, 3 in race 3 enjoy their podium moment. We'll see you in a week's time from Austria.